Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our review of The Bachelor premiere. It is here. Matt James' season has arrived, and
Yep.
I am all in. I had so much fun with every single second of this. Night ones are my favorite episode of every season, even though it is the same exact show every time.
It's true, but when you have a really good lead, it can, lead us to some really great places. And Matt is great.
He is great. And, his greatness so far is enough to compensate for we have a couple of ridiculous characters, we have antics, we have limo entrances, we have the person who steals him too many times. It is all the same show.
Oh, for sure, it is the same show. But you know what? When you have a good formula, you stick with it.
I could just you could just strap me down to this table like people were being strapped down for that lie detector test last season, and I could watch like 8 first nights just straight from start to finish.
I know you could.
We have so much to talk about here. Memorable contestants. We have queens. We have other nonsense. There's a topic which I don't know how we're going to stay monetized if we talk about it too much.
Well, we will try to get around that, but you guys will know exactly what we're talking about.
As we get into all of this, if you guys enjoy all of these shenanigans, because there are shenanigans coming.
There are.
Subscribe to the channel because we're here every week talking about The Bachelor. We will rant, we will rave, we might actually believe in certain love stories at some point.
Yeah, after each episode, we will have a video up here at the channel. So yeah, be subscribed and hit that notification bell.
I don't even know where to start.
I
like,
think
really.
we should really just start with Matt, because Matt is someone who hasn't been part of this franchise, really. Yes, he is friends with someone from the franchise, but he himself, he's not normally how this show goes, where it's like, oh, it's been The Bachelor. Okay, we'll pick one of the women. They will be the Bachelorette. Oh, now it's Bachelor again, so we'll pick one of the men here, and they'll be the Bachelor. He's brand new.
I will say I really like that they did not go in the, hey, look, it's Tyler Cameron's friend. Let's bring in Tyler to talk about him. It's just like, I feel the vast minority of people watching this show casually probably have any idea that they're friends. It doesn't matter for Matt's journey. I like that he just kind of got to have his spot in the sunlight here.
I agree. I don't want this to be about Tyler or anybody else. This is about Matt. It's nice to have a fresh face, someone that we don't really know very well, because normally we've seen the lead's journey on other shows, and then we get to see their own journey sort of happen. So this time we're going in fresh face. He's new. The women are all new, so it's really cool.
I do have an observation, though, just looking visually at everything this season. Matt is really, really tall. Like, I looked this up. The dude is like 6'5", and Bachelor casting.
You're almost as tall as that.
I'm like 6'2", 6'3". So
You're 6'3".
Yeah.
And yeah, it's got to be tough, I would say. What do you think? You're tall.
The thing is that I don't think it really matters that much that he's that much taller than a lot of, his suitors on the show or any of that. But here's the thing. The Bachelor, they never cast like a woman who's like 5'1" or shorter. So it's like, if you're too short, you don't get...
That's me. I'm 5 feet. I would never make it on the show.
And apparently, if you could be conceivably taller than any of the guys that are casted, you also do not get to be on the show either.
Luckily, a lot of sort of the like cocktail parties and stuff like that, people are seated. So, I mean, at least as far as production and the camera person trying to fit them both in one shot, they don't all have to be from far back so that everybody's in the shot. People are sitting. Like, we have a really big height difference, and we're doing all right. You're 6'3", I'm 5 feet. There's a big height difference. But sitting down, we're all short like me.
I don't know why. I was just very distracted by how much taller he was than a lot of other people.
He's tall.
Also, Claire and Tayshia, they got to go to the La Quinta, which it had a pool. It was in California.
Yeah.
I guess But dude, look at where Matt James is staying. This is basically like going from like the first like Minecraft shack I built when I learned how to make the game to like this extravagant place you have built now and a castle that we have nearby.
Oh, it is completely different. I'm not saying that the La Quinta is not a nice place, but then when you see what's going on with Matt James, it is night and day, these two places.
It is so ridiculous. Like, I understand that it was probably a situation when Claire's season was happening where they were still getting a handle on life in this, virus world
Sure.
and trying to make things work and all that, and they had a better handle on it from that. But it just seems very, very sad watching this season and being like, really? You had Tayshia and Zach do a date that just involved let's go have some bagels, and now Matt's got people like doing all these weird death-defying things and fancy cars and all this other stuff.
I'm glad that they have found a way to sort of bring it back to that feeling that we all get from watching the show, that it does feel sort of grander and bigger than life and, sweepingly romantic, and yes, all the danger dates and that type of stuff.
Okay, so there's a lot of contestants this season.
There is.
And apparently not all of them have even shown up yet. Don't worry, we're going to get to that later on.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk first about everyone's favorite contestant, and obviously this is Queen Victoria.
There are only two queens, and it is Queen Elizabeth and Beyonce. So I am sorry, Victoria. I just found it really interesting that they made it that her job is the queen, because it's everyone else is like, oh, I'm a doctor, I'm an attorney, just queen, the queen, that's it.
I feel like this has to go in like the top 5 ridiculous Bachelor Nation job titles they've given people. Like there's been a lot. Like I remember one of them was definitely dog lover. I'm pretty sure
That's my job. I am a dog lover as well, so I understand that is a real job.
Correct me if I'm wrong, commenters and you, but I'm pretty sure John Paul Jones' title was John Paul Jones. I also love that tremendously.
Yeah, it's up there with the queen.
Okay, this is the thing with Victoria. Clearly, the producers were like, hey, Matt, we want your show to get good ratings.
Yeah, and for some reason, the producers think that we want to see Victoria on the show and that she is going to bring in good ratings. And it just depends on what you're watching the show for. You like to watch the show for drama, and I think there's other people there that are going to have actual natural friction. Like you can kind of see a little bit of it already starting out. You don't need someone like Victoria who feels like that is her purpose on the show. She is there to pick fights and poke at people and make people upset. And for me as a viewer, I'm in it for the romance. I want to see Matt find somebody. And I know that this person is not that person. That, Victoria is there to cause problems. And that is the role that she is playing as the queen of problems.
Here is exactly what the producer said to him. Hey, Matt, if you don't keep Victoria around, we're all going to the La Quinta and you will have the rest of the season there. See, Victoria, I am actually pretty much on the same page as you. Like, I do love ridiculousness. I love shenanigans, but there's a difference between, John Paul Jones was a character and he was funny, but it didn't feel like he was all just one thing. And Bennett, as bougie as Bennett was, I at least felt like he was sort of multifaceted in a way.
Yeah, this just feels like a character. Like, there's no way that this person is just, that's what she's doing in life. She's going over to visit her mom and carrying a scepter and wearing a crown and being like, the queen has arrived. That it's not real. And for me, and I know it's a reality show, and of course there's lots of people that are on this show for, to be influencers and do all these other things. But I feel like there's also an element of, let's see if there's something here. Victoria feels like she is just there as a character that's been made up to cause problems. And, I'm not watching for that.
There's one part I did just like legitimately unironically love, and that was when Victoria showed up while Matt was talking to someone else. And she was just like, "Princess, get out of the way, the queen is here."
Yeah, and for me, I'm not into that. I'm just like, okay, this just feels forced. She doesn't feel like a real person, and I can't get to know her really because it's all just an act.
It was forced, it was stupid, and yet we all knew, once again, every premiere is the same, we all knew from like minute 2 that she was going to be the last person picked, she was going to get the rose.
Absolutely, and you could see it all over Matt's face that he did not want to go there, but I'm sure there's got to be something in there where producers are like, okay, you can hand out 20 roses, but we're picking 5 of them.
I also have, one of my 3 favorite contestants from night 1 has to be Anna, and it is solely for this reason. I am going to do my impression now of Anna during the rose ceremony. Like, she had, like, so many faces going on.
I know, trying to basically just stop from waving her arms around, being like, I'm the one in the other red strappy dress, because she was standing right in front of a girl who was also wearing the exact same type of dress that had the exact same straps on it, red. They're right beside each other. I was like, what is happening? Did they run out of dresses? I don't know.
It wasn't her name, like, Alina or something?
Yeah, because they were, like, both then confused. Who was he calling? I'm like, I get it. You're wearing the same dress.
I have never seen someone work as hard during a rose ceremony as Anna was working during that rose ceremony.
Oh, it was great. She really wants to be there, and I don't know why yet, because we haven't got to know her well enough, but
no,
she wants to stay.
Listen, Anna, if things don't work out for Jim Halpert and Pam Beasley, you have the perfect facial expressions for Jim.
That's right.
Okay, I also, of course, really like Abigail. I think she seems so nice, so precious. It's just...
She's too good for this show. Listen, she is just so, like, genuine. She was vulnerable, opened up right away. I mean, this is what I watch the show for. I want to get to know people because it's, a lot of it is overproduced, reality TV fun, and that's great. But when you get those people that are really genuine on this show, and you get those moments like Listen to Your Heart, which is a show that I think we're the only people that watched, with Chris and Bree falling in love, and they're so genuine, like you really get into it. And Abigail's one of these people that's just, I just couldn't help myself with her. She's so too good for this show. I love her.
I can't say enough good things about her. Like, it's so... I appreciate, first and foremost, it's really brave for her to go on this show because The Bachelor is a very cynical franchise where people, come at each other for all different sorts of things. And, there's often a stigma around deafness, just like there is around blindness. And, I've went through my own fair share of stuff with that. And I just think for her to put herself out there, to give this platform for other people where she's basically saying, you guys can do this too. And we don't know, obviously, if she and Matt are going to end up together in the end, but
she got the first real kiss and makeout, so that was pretty awesome. She also got the first impression rose, which she deserved, so that was cool.
Yeah, he seems really, legitimately into her. Like, they had a really nice conversation.
Yeah, and I think that he can sort of relate to this a little bit, because one of the things he was talking about at the beginning of the show is being biracial, being white and black, and sort of being like, he's got a lot of pressure he feels on himself, and that it's kind of hard when you do come from 2 different backgrounds. I mean, I come from 2 different backgrounds as well. My dad is white, my mom is Caribbean, she's from Guyana, and sometimes you just don't know where you fit in, or sort of the different pressures that you have, 2 different cultures of parents that are sort of on you.
Yeah, I feel like they did a good job of bringing in a wide array of people from very different backgrounds, people we don't always see on the show. I mean, like, Maggie is one of these people who, she's Ethiopian, she's got, like, a doctor in pharmacy. It's like, and
she's so gorgeous. She is another person who is just too good for this show. And I saw her, and I was just like, why are you here? You are too good for this show.
Anyone who comes out and says, like, they have a doctorate in something, I mean, yes, you can do what you do with your life, more power to you, I was just thinking, you could go and be a doctor somewhere, and
she's lovely.
that should be a feather in, Matt James' cap that this person is interested in him and is willing to put herself out there on this experience. And you know what? I bet she is not going to be like Bennett, who went and talked about being at Harvard pretty much like 5 times every episode.
No, we didn't get nearly enough screen time with her, but she does just seem very genuine, that she is just there looking for love. And so it makes me wonder then, if she's seeing people like Victoria here or people who are causing fights, like how difficult it is for people who are just a little more down to earth, here looking for love, seeing what's here, to then sort of have to deal with that.
And now we get to another wild card. We get to the how are we going to talk about this on YouTube portion of the show, where we will discuss Katie, who brought with her an object that is very, very beloved to her.
I'm looking around to see if I have anything that might sort of be like that.
Yeah, okay, that's the microphone. I don't think that.
I think you all know what I'm saying.
Yes, I think we all. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
Okay, I will talk about it. We will call it the microphone.
There we go.
We all are here with Katie and the microphone. So she brought Matt this microphone, and because he does seem to have a very strong religious background, he opened this whole thing with a prayer with everybody. I was kind of surprised that he was as open as he was to something like that. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, anyone who's Christian can't be open to something like that. Of course you can. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not religious, and if somebody had brought me a microphone, I'd be kind of like, this is not my road.
Yeah, all of this was so weird. The fact that production, which they know what the Bachelor Nation audience is, and there are certain people who are probably laughing hysterically at this.
Yeah, and then there's other people that are clutching their pearls being like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that there's a microphone on this show.
I will never watch this television program again. Like, there's...
Yeah, like Kylie, who came, and she came, like, in her lingerie. So it was just kind of like, okay, again, it's sort of like... They like to be able to have these moments that, of course, people are going to be talking about.
None of this even holds the candle to later on when Katie actually, there's 2 things that Katie does with this microphone that just had me dying with uncomfortable laughter. Number 1, when she's like, I'll see you inside. She was like, I'll see you. And she like pointed the microphone at him and was like, inside. And then, of course, she like boops somebody with the microphone later to steal Matt from them.
Yes, and what was even funnier about that was her confessional, where she was kind of like, I have no problem that I've done this, and everybody else is having a problem with it. It's really not that big a deal. I wouldn't be going down the road with someone who brought me a microphone, long-term love, and that's my first impression of that, but it's funny to watch.
I have already seen, I don't remember where I saw this first, but I have already seen Katie's TikTok, and she has something on there. I don't know how Katie's going to do this season, because she has something on there about her affinity for ghosts. Let's just put it that way. It's like, Katie, you do you. More power to you.
Well, that's probably why she was cast, because she's interesting.
I don't know if The Bachelor's a family show, Katie. I do not know if this is the right show for you.
Is it a family show? They have fantasy suites.
Okay.
I feel like it is not a family show.
Okay.
Don't have your little kids watching this show. There are microphones.
You can teach them about microphones. There's all sorts of important stuff. Okay, I'm not going down that road any further.
All right.
A couple other memorable introductions to me.
Yep.
MJ brought Matt a pizza, which, by the way, anytime you want to impress someone, you bring them a pizza.
No. Anytime you want to impress this Matt, you bring him a pizza.
Yeah, see, there's varying degrees of scale here, too. If you, don't bring, some, really, really tiny thin crust something with, nothing good on it. Get, a Chicago deep dish. Get, 5 different kinds of cheeses. And get, the really, really good thick pepperoni. I didn't see what the pizza was. That's my biggest critique with all of this. If you're going to do this, let me see the pizza.
Yep.
What if there was nothing in the pizza? I will feel like this is the biggest betrayal in Bachelor Nation history.
It's a mystery.
Imagine we have 2 back-to-back seasons where Bennett gives Noah, a book on self-help and other nonsense, and then this pizza shows up and nothing is even in it.
That's just sad.
The Bachelor will be canceled tomorrow if I find this out. Also, there's just... I guess this wasn't really an intro, but I just noticed Rachel, who we didn't get that much of, but after Matt's prayer, she was like straight up bawling.
Yeah, and I mean, that was also really nice to see that that it really touched her. And I mean, this is something that's clearly important to Matt. So to see that there was somebody there that was also really affected by that and felt like, I'm sure that the whole process is just overwhelming in general. They probably don't get a lot of sleep. They've all been in quarantine for a long time and haven't seen other people. Now they're part of this really, crazy experience. Then they're bringing in this prayer. I wasn't surprised to see somebody crying, but it felt really genuine.
Yeah, I feel like, yes, there are people, we won't say their names, they rhyme with Victoria, who are just there to be a character and are just there to get
The only queen besides Beyonce is this one.
Like, clearly Victoria is there for Bachelor in Paradise, but...
I don't think she's going to get to Bachelor in Paradise.
I think
I'm putting that on the table. I think she's too much of a pretend character to make it to Paradise.
I am saying be prepared for when the Paradise theme song plays this summer. They will have her sitting at a cabana with like some sort of like royal like outfit, and she'll have on the crown. It is happening.
I don't think so.
Let us know in the comments. Is Victoria going to be on Bachelor in Paradise?
And is she going to hook up with Bennett?
Also, I don't know if my brain can handle that thought. Also, why do we keep having these ridiculous people all named Victoria on this show?
I know, right?
Didn't we go through enough with Chase Rice last season?
Yeah, we did.
I would think so, but okay, the one other thing that's important that I think we absolutely have to talk about here is the producers deciding apparently at some point coming up, and I'm guessing maybe it is because the contestants seem to be too normal and relatable, that they're going to be like, okay, let's just throw some other random people in here now and make everyone really, really mad.
Yeah, nobody likes this. And I mean, as a viewer, I also am not really that interested in this. And I know that they want to have some drama at the beginning and have people fighting and stuff like that, but I feel like they don't need to throw in other contestants. It kind of does throw a lot of it off. I mean, even just watching TAYSHIA'S season, we had other guys sort of come in after we had already gotten to know these other guys through Claire, and then they're bringing in the Spencers and the Noahs, and I'm just like, I don't care about any of these people. And in the end, they didn't matter.
Is this all Noah's fault? Like, that is the big question I am wondering now. Because everyone had a problem with Noah. He brought them content. Is that what they're trying to do now?
I'm sure they are. They just want to know that, because so far, it's only been the one episode, but so far, Matt just seems like a pretty genuine, regular guy that's, has a little bit of baggage from staying pretty closed off, wants to get past it, thinks this might be a good way to do that. Other people have had success on this franchise, some people haven't, but maybe Matt will, and that he is actually here to see if this journey works. He doesn't really strike me as a person, again, I've only seen one episode, where he's looking to really deal with the Victorias or the drama, even though he knows it's part of this.
Yeah, I think he'll try to avoid mess. I think my big question moving forward is, because they showed Heather coming back, and by the way, out of all the memorable contestants they could bring back, I don't remember anything about Heather other than that she had never been kissed when she had started the season.
Yeah.
Like, that was legit it, and the only thing I'm kind of hoping comes out of this, and maybe some of you remember that one of my favorite all-time Bachelorette moments was when Chantel returned to another season of The Bachelor. There was this one woman, I don't even remember her name anymore.
Who is she?
Yeah, she had like that, like, obnoxious, and I could watch this on loop until the day I die.
And he has.
Who is she? It's just like the disdain. It just felt like someone had like come in and like taken everything of value from the mansion and walked out or something. Come on, Bachelor. We all need this. Let's kick 2021 off on the right note.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about this episode? Are you all in? Are you strangely obsessed with these Night 1 episodes, even though they are the same exact thing every single season, and I love them still.
What did you guys think of Katie and the microphone?
Let us know, and if you like this video, subscribe, give us a like, support us further. Check those links to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.